Since the first video game console until our days, there have been an infinity of titles to play on each console and each generation. The video games have become an industry more and more famous than Hollywood and their movies, and having annual awards and competitions even bigger than the sports cups played all around the world. We will talk about the little portion of the games that shakes social medias and made the parents think their child had a mental problem, the games that had inspired some assaults and robberies including murders, and the ones that had confused psychologists and parents for decades. The reason why these games contain these issues is because of the majority of video game players are not children. Actually, they are young adults who buy these games to enjoy these deep plots and sensitive topics.
Everything started with Death Race. This game was played in arcade machines and also reached the famous Nintendo NES in 1982. Here you had to crush monsters with your car. There will not be any problem with this game except the monsters that look like humans. To be specific, the monsters were gremlins, but anyone mattered. This game was matter of discussion in national newspapers and TV channels. Later it was found that its original name was Pedestrian, and it finally disappeared from stores.
The next game is Costa Revenge. This game is possibly the most offensive game ever made. It was developed by an erotic game company in 1982. It's a game about raping a native woman that is tied to a post. You will have to guide your character in order to complete your mission. The next game is probably the one with the largest polemic story, Mortal Kombat. This game was born in arcade machines in 1984. It was a combat title such as Street Fighter, with the difference that you can execute your enemies at the final of the battle. Through the years, the fatalities have been more and more gruesome. Fathers are still concerned of Sub-Zero ripping the opponent's column among others.
Carmageddon was the most polemic car race game. You have to reach the finish line before anyone making a chaos during your race, but the matter here was the extreme bonuses for running over pedestrians. This led to a massive ban in Germany and Brazil. Grand Theft Auto. It's not a surprise in this list. Since its first edition, this game has touched every single important console and even PCs. Its main theme is the life of an offender. Inside you will find lots of drugs, prostitution, violence, weapons, also killing cops and pedestrians like if there was no tomorrow. Hatred is a 3D person game where you control a man with mind problems, developing a genocide curse in New York. The main attraction of this game were the violent executions you can develop all along the game. Call of Duty is a first-person shooter, quite realistic, launched in 2011. There was a mission consisting of an assault to a Russian airport. The mission inspired some guys to assault a Russian airport in real life, killing 35 people in the process. The developers changed the mission, so if you shoot it against the civilians, you will fail the mission.
Finally we have Doom. It was the first best shooter and this game defined how a good FPS should be. It was very criticized because of its infinite ways of blood and satanic images, since all of your opponents are devils. This game was developed by Bethesda and is still very famous nowadays. As an honorific mention we have Bully. The game consists in controlling a bully, and the point in this game is getting involved with dangerous people in your school in order to be the best bully, and even menace the teachers. Ironically, this game was developed by Rockstar Games, the same studio that developed all the Grand Theft Auto games.
Since the first video game consoles, we had a lot of funny titles to play, but there have been many other games developed just for adults. There is no problem in having those games, but we should control what the minor-aged people play in order to avoid these delicate topics. Since 1982, Mortal Kombat created the necessity to have a grading system by ages, according to the content in video games. Most of the video games we have shown today are for teenagers and adults, and they are very funny. If we don't play them, at least we can do is to respect the people that play these games and avoid children to play them.